someone is living in a life of insecurity or self-doubt right now, and they're trying to gain significance by achieving a goal, what happens when they create from a space of insecurity or self-doubt?
No amount of outer world validation is going to cover up an inner feeling of emptiness. It has to start from within. And when people understand, you were born good enough. I mean, look at the biology of it, Liz. 400 million to 1, right? When you look at the egg and the tadpoles, right? 400 million, you made it. Why did you want to be here so badly?
No.
It wasn't to work 40 hours a week for somebody to retire up with a cheap watch to say thank you for, for wasting most of your life. No, you came here to give a gift, the gift of you.
Yes.
The gift of something level of uniqueness. That doesn't mean to say you've got to be an NBA champion. No, we all have a way to be able to give. We all know, we all have the favorite grandma or auntie that just had something about them. They weren't driving Ferraris. They had an energy of about them that made them give the best of who they were to us. And so, when it comes to how do we reconcile that? How do we look at life saying, was I born good enough? When you realize that no matter what you've done, no matter what you've not done, you are worthy of love. Nothing to defend, nothing to conquer, nothing to prove. And when that becomes your ground of realization, which can't happen into me, is still trying to be earned in by me, and you start operating from a level where you accept your own greatness without having to go and tick boxes for it, you show up with a different energy. You walk through life up to something. And yeah, there's been times where, hey, I know what it's like not to be able to afford rent. I was born on a low-cost housing estate. My parents had nothing. And up until very recently, I got absolutely wiped out financially. I don't judge my self-worth by tying it to my net worth. And if you do that, you are never going to have enough money, like the 700 million guy, to feel worthy.
Why do most people tie their self-worth to their net worth?
Conditioning. We've been told by society that the more money you have, the more successful you are, because they can benchmark it. That means that you're better than fill in the blank. It's to keep up with the Joneses. I was happy with my BMW until next door neighbor bought a Lexus. Now I don't feel as whatever. And so if you really want to know what all the Joneses are saying, they're saying that they wish that you would quit so they could quit.
Right. Stop competing. Yeah.
And I'll share another concept that I think could help a lot of people here. I realized that one of the biggest ankle weights on human potential is people living in what I call goop. And goop is a nasty, sticky, smelly, horrible substance that drains the life force. And goop stands for the good opinion of other people. And so many people make decisions through, consciously or unconsciously, the filter of goop. So how do you get rid of that? Well, you may find this useful. I firmly believe that we all star in a movie called the movie of our life. And I know that you star in the movie of your life, Lewis, because you're the only person who's in every single scene of your movie, right? So if we realize that we star in the movie of our life, that means that by definition, other people can only play one of two roles. At best, they may be a supporting cast, a spouse, significant other, best friend, co-worker, you're close to, what have you. But the vast, vast majority of people in your life are nothing more than film extras in your movie. Now, what is the definition of a film extra? Somebody you're not currently thinking about if they're not in your current scene. Right, so to set that tone. So you may be thinking of your partner when they're not in this scene, for example, as a supporting cast, but the vast majority of people that most people suffer from goop for are film extras. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people are walking around seeing themselves as the star of their movie, thinking that other people see them as the star of their movie. Of course, they don't, because they're not starring in your movie. Whose movie are they starring in?
Theirs.
Theirs. Which means, by definition, we appear as only one of two characters in everybody else's movie. At best, supporting cast. But the vast majority of people you will meet in your lifetime, you are nothing more than a film extra in their movie. Now, how do you translate that into getting rid of goop? Simple. You understand that the reality is most people don't care enough about you to bother to even give an opinion. Why? Because they're too busy being worried about what they think you're thinking of
them.
Yeah. In other words, everyone's walking around in this bubble of self-importance thinking, I wonder what everybody thinks of me in my bubble of self-importance, not realizing that they're walking around in their bubble of self-importance thinking, I wonder what everyone's thinking of me, my bubble of self-importance. And when you burst your own bubble and see it for what it is, the freedom that comes with that is refreshing. That frees up life force rather than you trying to run around as this chameleon, this adaptation machine. Oh, if they don't like me this way, I'll be this way. If they don't like me this way, I'll be that way. Yeah.
It's letting go of the character that you've been playing.
Yes, and a lot of that is driven by patterns. You know, I worked alongside, you know, as a trainer for Robbins Research for Tony for 15 years. And I learned a huge amount from Tony, but he said one thing that was so powerful that it was in a leadership meeting one time, and he came out, it was almost a throwaway comment, but it had such an impact on me. He said, if you want to get good at working with people, get good at spotting patterns because there's only so many of them. And I looked at that. So let's look at perfectionism. That's a classic buy me pattern as well. Any perfectionists watching here will probably understand that, you know, what that's like. Now, the thing with perfectionism is that it sounds very altruistic. It's like, you know, who doesn't want to be perfect? I just want to make sure it's the best it can be. It's almost like a self, you know, acknowledging I'm doing the right thing. But there is no perfectionism. Perfectionism is the lowest standard because it's unattainable. Evolution hasn't finished. So if nature isn't perfect yet, why do you think we should be? So what really is perfectionism? I'll tell you. The real language is, I'm scared of screwing upism. So it's got to be right. Otherwise, it has its basis more in fear of rejection. Like shy. Shy's a racket. Because, I'm just introverted. I'm shy. No, you're not. You're running a pattern that says, please don't let you discover me because I'm scared of your judgment. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not judging them for that. I'm just saying address what the real thing is. Because what you're really looking for is the inability to handle rejection. Classic to-me pattern. So you learn how to handle rejection. Why? Because if somebody rejects you, there's a difference between rejecting a person and rejecting their idea, their concept. And you realize that all people can ever do, Lewis, is project from their own model of the world onto you. Somebody comes up and calls you an asshole. Is that about you or about them?
About their interpretation of something.
Yeah, exactly. They're having a bad day.
Yeah.
You look at that with compassion and understanding this person's in so much pain, so much chaos or whatever's going on, that they've got to express their frustration to people they don't even know in ways that are potentially offensive or damaging. You hold compassion for that rather than judgment or reaction.
Right.
And you've got a different way of engaging in life.
You've been around a lot of wealthy people. Who do you think are happier, millionaires or 100 millionaires and billionaires?
The wealth is not the issue. The number is not the answer. Again, 700 million antidepressants. And when you understand what money is, it can give you an insight. See, the two things that most humans stress about the most are money and time. And the only place in the universe they mean anything is in the mind of a human being. Nothing else keeps track of it. It's like you say time. People say, I don't have enough time. Well, how do you run out of now?
Right.
It's like you try to manage time. You can't manage time any more than you can manage the current of a river while you're swimming in it. It's the only area in life, whether you're born in a slum in Guguletu in Cape Town or in Beverly Hills down the road, it's the only area we've all been treated equal. Is we get 24 hours in a day. So trying to manage time is manage your priorities, manage your focus. But don't think you can manage time because you're commoditizing it. You don't go to Walmart and buy 3 hours, 20 minutes on special offer for 2 hours and 10. Right? It doesn't work that way.
No.
Money is the same thing. It's conceptual. The only place it means anything is in the mind of a human. You and I were on a desert island with $1 million in cash and the economy had gone, we'd set fire to it to keep warm.
Yeah.
Right? It's pieces of paper with dead people printed on it. It's shiny stones and hard rocks. So The concept of money was created as a way to try to level the playing field in the bartering section. So, if you've got goats and I've got chickens and I want goats and you want chickens, then we're in business. But, I want goats and you don't want chickens, we need a way to figure it out. So
you find someone else who wants a goat and you did this and it's like, all right, let's just trade something. Yeah.
Just a lot easier to do it that way. So we created the concept of money to help solve that kind of problem. There's other backstory to it, but to simplify it, let's leave it there. But it's still a human construct. So I did an experiment. My dog, I've got a Jack Russell. I've got two, but my boy's called Archie. And I did an experiment. This went kind of viral on social.
Archie the Achiever?
Definitely not, no. He's Archie the daddy's boy, but achiever when it comes to chasing balls.
Yes, that's what I mean.
But I got a ribeye steak. I put it on a plate. I got €1,000. I live in Spain. €1,000 in cash, and I put it on another plate. I said, right, Archie, listen to me carefully. Do you know how many ribeyes you can buy for €1,000? Right?
right.
I'm going to give you one shot, one choice. Right? We know where this is going. Right? Yeah. And it was a fun way to kind of make a point. Of course, straight for the ribeye. But if you think that money is a measure of your success, no, money is a measure of how much value you add. Mm-hmm. Because the only time you ever receive money is by giving something of value for it first. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't walk in the gym. You're in shape. You know what it's like to be a professional athlete, right? You walk into the gym and you go to your personal trainer and you say, hey, look, these machines look a bit tough. You know something? Give me the strength. I'll go lift the weights. Mm-hmm. Doesn't work that way. You lift the weights, you get the strength. You sit in front of the fire on a cold night and it's dead and you say, hey, negotiation time. Give me some heat. I'll go fetch you some wood. Doesn't work that way. So most people say, give me the money and then I'll be happy. Give me the money and then I'll feel this. No, go add value. Go give your gift. Go be of service, and you'll look over your shoulder one day and realize that money starts showing up. Mm-hmm. But you cannot, and this is a bigger conversation. I talk about the number one rule of coaching being that if you want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves, you're wasting your time.
Yes.
Number one rule in personal growth: you can never rise above the opinion of yourself.
What does that mean?
It means that we have a financial thermostat. And if your financial thermostat, like a room thermostat, there's a program invisibly running in the background that monitors the current temperature, that if it drops below, the heaters kick in. If it goes above, the air conditioning kicks in. So if your financial thermostat's set for $50,000 a year, and all of a sudden you drop to 30, the heaters kick in. You get motivated. You're up early. You're hustling. You're getting out there. You're doing something. You're following up on sales calls. You're figuring it out. You suddenly go to $100,000 a year and you're now comfortable, but that internal programming is running that says, too hot for you up here. Air conditioning kicks in. So what happens? You stop following up on leads. You don't get as motivated. You're not getting up as early. You're not putting as much time in, and you self-sabotage. And we see this played out in every lottery winner example you can give.
Yeah.
Right? So your financial thermostat governs your ability to attract, earn, keep, retain, be a custodian of money.
So how do we increase our financial thermostat to earn more?
Well, the trap, as you alluded to earlier, is that if you have your self-worth to your net worth, you're caught in a negative loop. Because unless I earn enough, I'm not good enough. But if I'm not good enough, I'm not earning enough, because my frequency now is matching a lack consciousness, a poverty consciousness, a scarcity mindset. The people that I've seen that are constantly happy, whether they're millionaires, billionaires, centimillionaires, decamillionaires, or broke, are people who have an abundance mentality, a prosperity consciousness, and it isn't linked to money. Money is one of the aspects. Again, it's almost a strange concept that we created. Hence, self-worth and net worth shouldn't be tied. But I mentioned earlier about gratitude and scarcity can't live in the same room. So if you want to create an abundance mentality and you don't have money, stop trying to focus on money to trigger the feelings of abundance.
What should we focus on instead?
What do you have an abundance of?
Love, joy, presence, curiosity.
Friends, oxygen if you're struggling. I mean, focus on something that you're grateful you have more for. And a contrast frame here is a powerful tool to use. Most people use contrast frames the wrong way. For example, let's say you're working at a new job, temporary position, and the boss calls you in on Monday morning, says, hey, John, we've been watching you. We've been impressed. You're a team player. You're not a clock watcher. You've been going the extra mile. We're going to give you a permanent contract and a 10% pay rise. How do you feel?
Better.
Yeah, happy.
Great, thanks.
So 12 o'clock comes, you're in the staff canteen, and you're chatting with Susie, and she's all happy too. Say, hey, Susie, how's it going? Oh, great. I say, oh, you're really happy? Yeah, I've had a great time. Boss called me in this morning. Give me a permanent contract. She does the same job as you, by the way, right? Yeah, it says, yeah, give me a permanent contract and a 20% pay rise.
Now you're not happy.
Well, you had nothing before.
Yeah.
Now you only have 10%. So you're contrasting it to what she got rather than contrasting what you didn't have before. Contrast frames are okay. When I was in Pentonville, I mentioned earlier, 6 months in jail. And I would be helping the prisoners. And I would give them Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. And I would challenge them not to cry with tears of gratitude for the fact they were in Pentonville and not Auschwitz.
Wow.
Reframe.
Yeah.
Everything's reframable. And that was a powerful lesson for a lot of them. And some people committed to me don't want to change. That's okay. Your job is not to change anyone. We have no right to change anyone. I've got no right to walk into somebody else's movie, grab the scriptwriter's pen and start altering their scenes. That's, even if you love them and you can see that they're self-harming, they're self-sabotaging, and you want them, you can see the problem. You don't get to do that. All you get to be, Lewis, in this world, which is what you're doing with this podcast, which I love, you get to be the example and you get to be the invitation. You can't be the invitation without being the example.
Right.
But you also cannot be the imposition.
You can't push.
Nobody changes because you tell them to.
Yeah.
Why? Because it triggers the primary fear that we all have, which is the fear we're not enough.
Yeah.
And ultimately that we won't be loved. So if you try to argue with anyone or even help them by saying, oh, I've got a great way that you can get out of this problem, what most people hear isn't, oh, here's somebody trying to help. What most people hear is, oh, I'm not good enough doing what I'm doing now and you're trying to fix me. And everybody will push back against that. And family member or stranger or work colleague, doesn't matter because it triggers that primary fear, which is the fear we're not enough. And most people do almost anything to avoid that, including stay in their victim story so that, at least they have some certainty that they know how bad things are.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.